Hello, welcome to my channel. Happy Sunday. As April the 30th. My goodness sakes, wow. Like this is based on like how fast this month is going. Like I can't believe it that I have been making over, well, this is gonna be 101st video so far. Like, wow, like I'm so happy about all my views I've been over. Like I'm so happy over that over 4,000 views. Like, oh my goodness sakes. Like, oh my goodness sakes. Thank you very much, my viewers out there. Um, just keep welcoming me. Just keep welcoming about subscribing to my channel, enjoying about all the possibilities, everything else. Because you know why I'm doing this as a welcoming job actually. It's a hobby for me, right? And when I do hobbies, I try to I'll try to think about this as my own timing. I basically think about this. I think about how everything seems to be, and how everything kind of is right now, right? So in today's video, I'm going to be making, I'm going to be doing the Bible reading. I'll be doing one of these cards that we will look at today. But anyway, that's how it is because I'll read you the Bible. I'll tell you what it remains and what and everything else. So, this is how it kind of is at the moment. We have to believe about how everything is. We have to have a good motivation. There's always a good process. We have to have ways that we can stay positive as much as we can, even if there's lots of negative that's going through different people's lives and they can't get motivated. So if I take it as a way of where I cherish my own moments and I do welcomings and all that. Like I used to think like, oh my goodness sakes, like Zoe Alex knows how many videos I've been doing, or I'm doing exactly what I'm doing, my viewers, because all of you guys enjoy it. All of you guys enjoy if it's a gal or lady or guy, whatever it is. All of you are enjoying my own way, which means that whenever I post videos up, whenever I'm doing the best as I can, all of you like to enjoy it, enjoying about all the possibilities, and that's what it is, right? So if you think about this as a way, knowing about how everything is, check it out, and check it out about how it seems to be, we have to understand about how everything is. We have to figure out about what's going on, and we're going to read what the Bible is going to say to us. So, this is how it is, and yeah, so this is how it is. Okay. So, to further ado, without question, we're going to start with this. We're going to start with this card, and this card represents forgive and you shall be forgiven. Luke 6:37. This is a beautiful card, isn't it? Yes, it is beautiful, right? So you can understand that this is a very interesting card, as you guys can see. Um, this is how it is right now, and this kind of gives you a way of how this card represents. We have to remember that we can understand how this everything goes. We will think about how this is. So now I'm going to do this and I'll read the Bible. If anybody wants to have a Bible with themselves, remember to read this and understand how it is. Okay, so this is what it seems to be. I kind of like do this. I don't do very much of Bible readings very often, but for today it'll be great. Okay, so I'll look at through the Bible, what does it say to me? Let's see. So I have to go through the entire Bible thing. I know, right? So I have to go to. I just skipped a couple times. So okay, so I have to go from. Uh, I'll be reading a little bit of the chapter. Not too much of it, but just a bit, so I understand how it is. These are all stories, what's going on through what's going on, So, all right, so let's see where we are in this situation. Give me 1 second, I'm just trying to figure this out if I can read the whole thing. Uh, I think this is 637. So 637. Okay, so it says, so I'll read you a story from here to I think the end. Well, between I'm very good, so I'll read between Jesus anointed by a sinful woman, and then by the end of 50 on Luke 8:12. So I'm on Luke 7:23, uh, and then I'll do Luke 8:12, and I'll read the end of this, and then that'll be it. That'll be it. Okay. So here we go. Jesus anointed by a sinful woman. Here we go. When one of the Pharisees invited Jesus to have dinner with him, he went to the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. A woman in that town who lived a sinful life learned that Jesus was eating at the Pharisee's house. So she came there with an alabaster jar of perfume. As she stood behind him at his feet weeping, she began to wet his feet with tears. Then she wiped them with her hair, kissed them, and poured perfume on them. When the Pharisee who invited him saw this, he said to himself, "If this man were a prophet, he would know who is touching him and what kind of woman she is, because she is a sinner." Jesus answered him, "Simon, I have something to tell you." "Tell me, teacher," he said. Two people owed money to a certain moneylender. One owed him 500 denarii, and the other 50. Neither of them had the money to pay him back, so he forgave the debts of both. "Now which of them will love him more?" Some replied, "I suppose the one who had the bigger debt forgiven." "You have judged correctly," Jesus said. Then he turned toward the woman and said to Simon, "Do you see this woman? I came into your house. You did not give me any water to my feet for my feet, but she wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You did not give me a kiss, but this woman from the time I entered, he not has not stopped kissing my feet. You did not put oil on my head, but she has poured perfume on my feet. Therefore I tell you, her many sins have been forgiven, as her great love has shown. But whoever has been forgiven little loves little." Then Jesus said to her, "Your sins are forgiven." The other guests began to say among themselves, "Who is this who even gives sins?" Jesus said to the woman, "Your faith has saved you. Go in peace." So basically, the point being is that in the story, um, we understand that there's the sinful woman in this picture, right? And so she basically is looking and crying because Jesus is looking at her, right? Because she's feeling sad, right? And she's doing what she has done. So that's how it kind of is right now, because the point being is that this is basically a very good story, right? And it seems to be very true, right? It is, because this is what stories are, right? So when I look at this and how it can be what's going on, this is what it seems to be, you know, because when I look the other sides over here, you know, I'll read a little bit of them. But this is how it kind of is right now, because this is what it seems to be. Because when I think about this, I notice about when I read the Bible and stuff, I basically look at the context, and then I read about the chapters and the stories, and we have our ways to understand about what's going on, but when I look at these stories, we have to understand about how it seems to be. We believe about how everything seems to connect. We have to embrace about opportunities. We have to understand what's going on and everything else. And that's what it seems to be. Because when it is good, we have to remember that okay, we are going to be doing this as soon as possible and whatnot and everything else, right? So that's how it is. So when we look at this, we have to remember how this is. Like let's see. I'll read like what. So when I was reading number, so probably between uh, between 40 and 44 in this situation. Um, like when I was reading this, it says, so did Simon elect common courtesies, so 7. So Luke 7, 44 and 46 in the Bible here. And it says on the side, it says, Many suggest that Simon, by failing to provide water for his guests' feet, did not follow typical customs of hospitality. Others say such practices were optional, but Jesus may not have been criticizing Simon so much as commending the woman and using her actions to make a point. Her special attention, her special attention to Jesus showed her devotion and dedication to him. The measure of her forgiveness was in response to her expressions of love. That's what it seems to be, right? Because the lady in that picture I just showed you, the lady is, thanking Jesus. Like, thank you for so much. Thank you of having me, and thank you. That's what it is, right? It's a part of life, right? And that's what it seems to be. But the point being is that for when I look at, there's another one. Why did Jesus pronounce her sins forgiven? So Luke 7, page 48 and 49, that what I just read. Um, it says, because of her great love, though she has lived a sinful life, she was willing to repent and show her gratitude to, and love for Jesus. Jesus taught an important lesson by publicly announcing that she was forgiven. He contrasted her attitude with that of the respectful Pharisee who was not forgiven. Simon the Pharisee revealed that he loved little because he did not think he needed much forgiveness. That's what it seems to be, right? So, we believe that, in a way of life, we have probably sin, right? And that's how it seems to be, right? Because when I look at the temptation, in a way, this is how it seems to be, right? It kind of gives me a very like, oh my goodness sakes, it's a long story. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But in a way, this is a good contracting, like comparison and contrast, right? You're doing two different stories, right? You're doing a there's one story compared to a next story. Like the story that I read from Luke 7:23, from Jesus anointed by a sinful woman. That's what I just read you. The second one that I haven't did yet is the parable of the sower, and that would be Luke 8:12. That story there. So there's always these different stories in the Bible here, in this big Bible, because the Bible that I'm reading, that is the Quest Study Bible. That's what it is, right? So think about how this is and how this remains, because in that conquest, and how everything seems to be all great, and everything else, um, we have to believe that we can do this. Believing is a way of knowing what's going on. We believe about what's going on around the world. We have to believe you know, about what the Bible tells us, what the stories are saying, and everything else, right? So when I think about this, we are truly understanding of what's going on. You know, I don't want to, I hate to say this, but we have to believe that everything can be good and then everything is not so good. What I mean by that is that we have to stay positive as much as we can. A native can draw into different people's emotions, right? So when I look at the Bible, it kind of gives me like, okay, I'm kind of like in a happy mood. But sometimes it gives me like that little tear that comes into your eye. It means that you're starting to cry because about you are forgiving. It's like you're apologizing to somebody, right? You had a fight, you don't know what to do, and then you're saying sorry, right? On what you did, and you forgive, right? So, that's how it seems to be in this little storyline. We have to believe that we can have a good way of knowing to, what to do, because in a way we have to acknowledge the ability to understand and the ability to believe about what's going on, you know, because in that respect, we have to believe that we can do everything what we desire to do, you know, because we are living in a free life. We are living in a different way, in a different progression and everything else, and that's how it seems to be, right? So before I let you all go, there's always a few things that you must learn is pay attention to read the Bible and what the Bible is telling us. Two, to stay positive as much as you can. And three, what's going on through our own world, what's going on from, you know, chaos and everything that you can think of, right? So this is what I have for you, and enjoy about the best as you can be. Remember that, like I say, I don't usually do about ratings on my YouTube channel, but sometimes I do. It's rare though, it's very rare. So just keep that in mind because that's how it is. So I hope that this reading will help you as long as you can, and remember how everything seems to be. And I hope that you will enjoy about this opportunity, enjoy about what's going on. Remember, I'll post all this information in the description box below, and subscribe to my channel if you decide to or not. So thank you very much, and have a good day to you all. And thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye for now.